My friend's bride kicked me out of the wedding for wearing gold and called me trashy for trying to upstage her. Now, she's in trouble. My best friend Dan got married to Lauren yesterday. Dan and I have been best friends since high school, and despite always being platonic with no romantic interests on either side, his now wife Lauren has always disliked me. In their 3 years of dating, I have not been allowed to see Dan alone because she feels that it's suspicious that I want to hang out with him. Honestly, I just missed my friend. Despite being happily married, she's always kept me at arm's length. I always figured this was because she's from a very conservative family. Dan has spoken to her multiple times, and after, she'll back off for a bit before reverting to complaining about him being friends with a girl again. It's not ideal, but she makes Dan happy, so I made peace with it. That brings us to the wedding. Originally, I was going to be at the groom's party, but Lauren ended up crying, saying a wedding is not a place to swap gender roles. Dan was fighting her on this, but I told him I'd just attend as a guest and not choose this hill to die on. The dress code was warm-tone garden party, and we were encouraged to wear earthy, warm colors. I picked out a bronze, orange dress that I thought fit this perfectly, and the style even matched some examples they gave. In short, I thought I had nailed it. The wedding went great. However, at the reception, Lauren dragged me aside and said, "I cannot believe you would wear gold to my wedding. You're not the first prize. You're just F-king trashy." I was so shocked at the moment I just stared at her. She practically screamed at me to leave, and she was drawing attention, so I grabbed my husband, said goodbye to Dan, and left. Dan reached out afterward and told me he was upset that I had left his wedding so soon. Lauren's mom has texted me saying I ruined the wedding for her daughter and I'm stupid for wearing a gold dress. She's saying it's as bad as wearing white. I was genuinely not aware this was a thing. I want to reach out to Dan to explain, but I don't know if I'm wrong here. Am I the a-hole? Update: another girl was wearing the same dress but in a dark red, which we laughed about. Slip dresses are a pretty common wedding guest dress where I am, and it was the type of dress recommended by the bride. My husband posted a photo of us this morning with a caption along the lines of "My gold prize of a wife, I am winning in life thanks to you." Turns out Dan found out pretty quickly what happened and called me last night. Apparently, Lauren's mom had told him I was drunk and told Lauren her dress wasn't it, so I was requested to leave. Dan had his suspicions that it was bullshit, but it wasn't until his mom called him that he confirmed it. It turns out she was nearby when Lauren pulled me aside and, ironically, was wearing a yellow gold dress and tore him a new one about letting Lauren treat me like that. Dan didn't have a solution when he called. I could tell he was emotionally exhausted and pretty defeated. He said he wished I had taken it out on the open bar rather than leaving, but he understood why I left. He thanked me for taking the high road and that it hadn't gone unnoticed. He apologized for what happened. Apparently, this is an ongoing fight between him and Lauren. Apparently, she has been trying to convince Dan to cut me off because that's what a good husband does. I told him that he needs to focus on his happiness, that I will always be here to support him and that I will take a step back if that's what he needs. I've blocked Lauren and her mom and forwarded the messages to Dan as recommended. Update 2. So Lauren called me from Dan's phone and started screaming at me, saying I had ruined her wedding and that I knew what I was doing wearing a dress like that to the wedding. After the initial shock of expecting Dan and getting Lauren screaming, I yelled, "What kind of dress? The same cut that Amy wore? I just can't win with you. Dress nicely and I'm out to get you. Dress casually, and I'm taking the annoy? I've tried so hard with you, but I'm done."